Hello, and welcome to Week 5 of the Introduction 2020 Intra-Session Series. And thank you for your patience while you waited for us today. We've designed these programs to allow you to hear about the tons of resources available and all of the people who work to support your student success at the University of Oregon. For today's intra-sessions, we've checked in with university housing, we've highlighted career services, we've talked to parents about supporting ducks, and now we're showing you several ways to connect with clubs and organizations and other students. For parents and families, we know that you're listening. We want to make sure that you get your questions answered too. So make sure that you've joined us over in YouTube or watch with your student on Zoom. For students, if you're watching us in Zoom, we want to make sure that you ask us your questions. We will spend the last 15 minutes or so of this program focused in on answering your questions live with our presenter. Also for you students, we want to make sure that you are on track to complete your introduction requirements and that you complete your reflection on this program after we're done by visiting community.uoregon.edu. At this time, I'm really pleased to be able to introduce you to Mandy Chong from the Center for Student Involvement. Welcome, Mandy.
Hi, Cora. It's really great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, and it's all yours.
Thanks. So as Cora said, my name is Mandy Chong. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm the program director for the Center for Student Involvement. I do want to ask for a little bit of grace today. I am normally the person who's running things and behind the scenes helping students to plan events, so I appreciate your understanding as I use my script and go through this session. I also want to just let you know that the photos that are depicted here of events were all events that happened before spring, so please know that events that happen in fall are going to look very differently. Today I'm going to share with you ways to get connected to the student community here at the University of Oregon. I'm going to talk about what the Center for Student Involvement does. We're going to show you a demonstration of the Engage system, which is our online student organization platform. And we'll also show a video of the Student Activities Board, or the SAB for short. So what is the Center for Student Involvement? Our purpose is pretty big. We are here to help create a welcoming environment for the students on campus. We do this by providing services for student organizations. We also work directly with the Student Activities Board and support them in all their events and activities. And we also host our own events. The work we do helps you to meet people, to have fun, to learn something about yourself, to have new experiences, and to develop leadership skills. I don't do this work alone. I have a fabulous team that supports me in every way, and some of you will actually be chatting with them right now and answering questions, so they are definitely standing by. We work tirelessly to bring you many services, and the 5 professional staff of our program each take a different area to support students. We also work with 14 excellent student employees and the 21 members of the Student Activities Board. This is our fall 2019 training photo. So our space, which we call the CSI Resource Center, is located in the EMU room 213. We actually are part of the EMU programs here, and you will learn about some of the other programs in another session in the future. Student organization services that we operate out of our space include things like printing for student clubs. We have general space for them to work on projects. We have an equipment checkout system. We have storage units, all kinds of things for them. We also register and support new and developing student organizations. So if there's a club that you think is a great one to have on campus that doesn't already exist, we would love to help you get it started. We also operate services for incoming students in our space. The ones that primarily are utilized are activities from the Student Activities Board, the events that the professional staff put on weekly. We also have involvement coaching, which I'll talk about shortly, and we also allow students to come into the space and study. In addition to those services operated by CSI, we have the associated students of the University of Oregon with a few programs that they offer for student organizations out of our space. This partnership allows students to have easier access to multiple student org services in one location. And now let's talk about services that you care about, that you really want to learn about as you start your journey here at the University of Oregon. We have over 450 student organizations. That's a lot. They range from everything from academics to very social clubs. We have clubs that are just about, anything you can think of. And if you can't find the one you want, don't forget you can start one with us. So in order to find all of these organizations, we use an online system called Engage, and all of our official clubs are on it. Right now, we're going to show a little demonstration about the Engage platform. You're going to learn about how to find events, news, and of course, student organizations.
Hi, I'm here to take you through a brief walkthrough of your Engage community. Thanks for joining me. Today, I'll be taking you through a brief tour of some of the highlights of the site. We'll start with talking about some basic site navigation. We'll talk about how to keep track of your personal involvement, how to navigate through organization and event pages, and if you're a student leader, we'll also talk about how to manage your organization's page and content. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into our training community. When you go to your campus's community, you'll probably first see a screen that looks similar to this one. If you've not yet signed in, you'll see the ability to sign in the upper right-hand corner. Before you do anything else, you'll definitely want to log in. Logging in will give you access to more opportunities and information within the community. You'll use your campus credentials to sign into your community. When you log into the community, you'll land on your community homepage. I want to bring your attention to the upper right-hand corner of the site. Clicking on your initial or your photo in the upper right-hand corner opens up what we call the user drawer. The user drawer is where you can manage your personal involvement and account within the system, such as viewing your event or membership history, viewing your notifications, or revisiting any form or event submissions. Finally, within your user drawer, you can also update your account by adding a profile photo or changing your notification settings or basic profile details. If your campus uses the Event Check-in app, you can also access your mobile event pass here. Next to the user drawer, you should see a black square-shaped icon. This is what we call the switchboard. The switchboard allows you to switch back and forth between different views of the site that you might need to use. As a student, you will likely see both the Explore and Manage views when you open up your switchboard. The Explore view is the default when you log in. Think of this as the view you'll use to search for things throughout the site, such as exploring organizations, event pages, reading news posts, or accessing content shared by the organizations that you are a part of. If you're not a student leader or an officer, you'll likely spend the majority of your time in the Explore view. Now let's check out the Explore view first, starting here on your community homepage. Your logged in homepage provides additional information that is specific to you as a member of the community. You'll first see a search bar that you can use to search for events, organizations, or news posts throughout the site. Below the search bar, you'll also see your campus's alerts or important announcements your administrators have chosen to share with you. You may also see any current campus elections going on, followed by a list of your memberships, including a notification if you have any invitations pending that you need to accept or deny. Scrolling further on the community homepage, you can also see events and news posts that have been shared out to the entire community, as well as important campus links that your administrators have chosen to share. From the Explore view, you can also search for events to attend by clicking the Events tab. The Events tab will show you all upcoming events in your community. Filter through events by name, by date, theme, event category, or event perk to find the perfect event for you. Clicking on the name of an event will take you into the full event details of the event. From the full details page, you can see things like the date and time, the location, additional information about the event, as well as the ability to assign your RSVP. Click Organizations to view the full organization directory. Searching for an organization to get involved in is easy and engage. Simply search for the organization that you're looking for by name, or select a category that interests you to filter through your options. Click on an organization's name to view its full organization page. If you're not already a member of the organization, you might see a Join button appear, depending on the settings of the organization. Click Join to request membership in the org, or you can click on Contact to send a message to the primary contact of the organization if you would like to learn more about them. If you're already a member of the organization that you're looking at, you'll be able to see all of the great content the organization has shared with its members or with the community. First, you'll be able to see a description of the organization, followed by any of the social media links the organization has provided and any additional information that the organization has decided to share. As you scroll through the organization's page, you can see the great content the organization has created, such as forms, upcoming events, a full list of their organization officers and their roster. Clicking on the name of an organization member will provide you with their email address if the user has chosen to share that information. Continue to scroll to view more content such as news posts, documents shared by the organization, and participate in a discussion board if you're an organization member. The last aspect of the Explore view of your switchboard is your ability to view any campus-wide news that's going on within your community. Click on a news post to read more about the information that's been shared by that organization. If you're an officer of an organization or somebody with the power to manage your organization's content, roster, events, or any other aspect of the org, you'll want to get familiar with the Manage view of the switchboard. Clicking on Manage takes you into what we call the Action Center, or the place where you get to take action for your organization, whether that means creating a news post, approving a form submission, or completing your organization's re-registration process. In your Action Center, you'll see a list of your organization memberships. What you're able to do in each of these organizations will depend on the level of management access that you hold for each of your organization memberships. When you click on an organization within the Action Center, you're taken to the Management Center for that organization, where you can see if that organization is eligible for re-registration. Opening up the organization tool drawer in the left-hand corner allows you to see which tools you're able to manage within that organization. From here, you can do everything from managing your organization's roster, creating events or tracking event participation, to creating news posts, photo galleries, uploading documents, approving form submissions, and submitting service hours for your members. Remember, this area of the site is primarily reserved for those of you who are student leaders or those who get to manage things within your organization. You can always easily jump back into the Explore view of your page if you want to see what your site looks like to general members or maybe non-involved members who are just checking out your organization's page. And that's your brief overview of how to navigate Engage as a student or a student leader. We hope you continue to use this community to find new ways to get involved, efficiently manage your organizations, and keep track of your own personal involvement. Please let your campus administrators know if you have any questions, or you can always contact our support team at support@campuslabs.com.
All right, I know that was a pretty quick and simple demo of the Engage system, but I want to encourage you to take a look around yourself. These are some screenshots of how you would log in. Start by going to the University of Oregon's homepage on Engage, click the top right button that says Sign In, and then you'll be prompted to enter your Duck ID. Once you enter your Duck ID, you'll be able to see many more things. We take the privacy of student information very seriously here on campus, which is why you'll need to use your Duck ID to log in. For students who would like a little bit more help with navigating this system or learning about the other programs that are on campus, we do offer involvement coaching. You can drop into our space at any time and we can give you some help with that. In a drop-in session, we will ask you questions about your hobbies, what you like to do on the weekends, what your academic interests are, or social justice causes you're interested in. The idea is to get to know you so that we can give you really good examples of programs and activities that could be a good fit for you. And if maybe that's a little bit too much to do with the person you just met when you walked into the program, that's totally fine. We can also just do another walkthrough of the system with you and then help you if you have any problems with your searching. A popular organization here on campus is the Student Activities Board. They put on a lot of events for you and are working really hard right now to create some events for fall. Right now we're going to show a video that's made by this year's Student Activities Board Social Media and Promotions Chair, Hayden Ogden.
My name is Hayden. I am a senior at the University of Oregon. I'm studying advertising and media studies with minors in folklore and sports business. I'm from a tiny town outside of Portland called Gladstone, which is next to where the Oregon Trail ends. This will be my third year on the Student Activities Board. I started off as a social media promotions coordinator for Ducks After Dark, which is one of our teams, and I am now the social media promotions chair for the entire Student Activities Board. The Student Activities Board is made up of a series of teams that is, in a nutshell, here to offer space for students to find community. The goal is to offer a large variety of events to help students find their thing or just something to do when they manage to get spare time. All of these events are free for students and meant for students. Let me tell you about the teams. Our first team is B Series. Who am I and who can I be? We often ask ourselves this question throughout college because we know it's more than lectures, tests, and going through the motions. It's about connecting with who we are and discovering the possibilities of who we are becoming. The B Series is a speaker series by students for students. B Series brings together thinkers, makers, and disruptors in every field that are challenging the status quo on issues that really matter. B Series Quest inspires to discover insights, develop ideas, and build inspired communities that actively expand our understanding of what is possible. The next team I'll be talking about is Connect the Ducks. Connect the Ducks is a student-run organization that brings weekly bingo and trivia nights to the University of Oregon, promoting a safe and welcoming space for students to have fun, meet new people, and win awesome prizes. The prizes include duck bucks and gift cards to awesome places like Target, Amazon, Starbucks, and even the Duck Store. Connect the Ducks also puts on larger events each term. Some examples of that would be comedy nights, casino nights, and even a magic show. The next team I'll be talking about is Ducks After Dark. Ducks After Dark is a student-led organization that shows current movies on Thursday nights in the EMU. It is free for all UO students who show their ID at the door. There's typically popcorn, soda, and some other type of activity and a raffle going on before the movie. The goal of Ducks After Dark is to have a safe, positive, inclusive, and fun activity for students to enjoy. Next, I'll be talking about our music and concerts team. The Music and Concerts team is a student-run organization that brings live music to the 23,000 students that make up the University of Oregon. Our group puts on the Willamette Valley Music Festival and smaller music-centered events throughout the year. Some notable acts that we have brought to campus have been Earth Gang, Ravina, and Sales. We are a group of music-loving individuals that bring students live music and provide local acts opportunities to perform as well. Last, but certainly not least, I will be talking about the Visual Arts team. The Visual Arts team curates exhibits and events in the EMU's Adele McMillan Gallery and Aperture Gallery. We feature contemporary art from a diverse range of artists in an accessible setting. We highlight the work of UO students as well as the broader community. We believe that art is for everyone. In conclusion, when I was a freshman, I struggled a lot at first, and it was terrifying coming to such a big school. I came from a really tiny town where my graduating class was under 150 people. I was lucky to find my place in the Student Activities Board, and I found it by going to Ducks After Dark on Thursday nights with people from my residence hall and my FAG. I hope our events can provide you with a community and a space on this campus, and I hope it can be a part of your memories. Thank you for your time. We hope to see you in the fall.
Thanks, Hayden, for making that very helpful video about the Student Activities Board. And I do know that the Student Activities Board is working very hard this summer to come up with safe events for fall. And that's the last thing I'd like to talk about is events. Each year we host around 200 events between the CSI professional staff and the Student Activities Board. And while we can't do things as normal, we are still making a lot of plans for fall. The latest events that we're planning are following all the current guidelines and safety precautions and working with UO administration. All of our events are adaptable, so if anything changes, we can make adaptations too. And how do you find out about events? Well, there's many ways. The Engage calendar, like we've seen, the UO calendar, which has a lot of other departments and programs on it. You'll see posters around campus, and you can always follow any student organization on their social media. Just before I wrap up, I'd like to let you know about a couple other programs that also work with student organizations that do very specific things. In the future, you'll be able to have sessions with these folks to learn more about them, specifically club sports, if you're interested in sporting events, and also fraternity and sorority life, so check out those sessions. My final thoughts, there are many, many ways to join in the fun and learn something new and expand your horizons on campus. I hope you feel encouraged and supported to really engage in all of these kinds of activities. And I hope you check out the many different clubs that are on campus. But if you're not ready to join a club, don't worry, it is totally fine. All events are open to any student on campus. So really take your time, enjoy trying out new activities, make some friends, and find your community here. We're really excited to meet you in fall. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Mandy. We have a couple of questions that have come in from students who are watching, and I want to make sure that we get to those. Elise has asked, when can I start applying to different programs or clubs or organizations?
Really at any time. Some of them are very active over summer. Others are maybe a little bit more dormant. It's going to depend. I would say some of the activities that are related to academics might be better to check in when you first get here with your academic programs, just because they are usually really tied to classes and faculty that are here. So if it's a social organization, or especially if it's going to be something like Fraternity Sorority Life or Club Sports, I would find out what's happening with them now so you can get ready and prepare yourself for whatever you need to in order to really jump into that club when you get here.
So you've been organizing events and programs for students for all the years I've known you, and that's been a while. So can you tell me a little bit about some of your favorite events and programs that you've been a part of?
We have had, yes, Cora, we have had some fun events on campus. We have had some very interesting ones, that's for sure. I think last year was a professional pinnacle. We finally were able to bring a full-sized Ferris wheel out on the EMU's lawn. It took the Student Activities Board about 5 years from the first time where it started to get proposed to when it happened, and they were tenacious in getting it done, and they did all the right stuff and had a great plan. It was really a great event and super fun. Was very special for me because I got to ride it with the ducks, so I was really excited and had a lovely time, but the students really, really enjoyed it. And we've also had some really just great concerts and some, amazing lectures over the years that just really spoke to people, and where you just had a great connection from either small groups having discussions. I think every year we have really great events that happen in Week of Welcome, which, we're still working on all of those things, but we want to provide, of course, like the best events that we possibly can. And really, we're looking all the time to get more student input to make those the best we possibly can.
Well, and you moved some of your programs in the spring to virtual events. I'm thinking of are you still involved in the Willamette Valley Music Festival? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yes.
And did you do that? And can you talk about how that worked? And in case some of these kinds of programs will be virtual for the fall, what can students expect out of that kind of experience?
Yeah, so we are planning currently for everything to be in person, but like I said, they're all adaptable events. So if we do need to go remote, all of them have a remote backup plan. Some of them will look very, very different, but others are not going to be that different, actually. So when we moved in spring to go remote, we switched up the music festival to be a series of concerts. And that actually allowed people who are much farther away to be able to see the concerts when we did live premieres on YouTube. And we're looking to expand that as well. So we do have a bunch of limitations on how many people can be in a space at once. So we know we're not going to get to have our 1,500 person crowded outdoor concert. That's okay. But what we'll do is have a smaller number of people that are there in person, which will have a bunch of information about all of those tickets and how you can get into those programs. And they'll be coming up in fall. But there'll be some that'll be in person, or potentially no one if we're not allowed to have people in person. But the events will still happen, and we will live stream them with Instagram and then also do a YouTube premiere later so that you'll be able to see all of the performers. Some of the events were actually just really easy to transition. So for example, trivia is really actually very easy to put online, and our student activities board just I mean, they were great. They just made it work. They found all the programs, they got everything in there, and they just started going. I think their first spring trivia had like 67 people, and nobody even knew that they were doing it. It was just like whoever I think happened to be on at the time. It was really great though, and they had a really consistent following for all of spring. So we feel pretty solid about actually, you know, anything that I think gets thrown at us for fall to be able to still have really good events.
Thank you. Colin wants to know, how do I join the Student Activities Board?
Yeah, that is a very good question. So we do have leadership positions. Usually those are people who have been on campus for a while and have some experience, but there are usually also lots of opportunities for volunteering. And right now, those may be a little bit limited just with all the safety concerns, and we want to be as safe as possible. So we might be utilizing more professional staff for those positions, where normally we would have students who actually kind of join the club and participate in it. So right now, the best thing would be to follow all of the different, one of the 5 Student Activities Board, or follow the Student Activities Board general account on Instagram, and then learn about all of the things that they're doing from that. And volunteer opportunities will be one that will be posted. They also do a lot of research on there. So they're currently, I think Ducks After Dark just finished asking a poll for students about movies that they'd like to see in fall, and I think also TV shows. So it's where you can actually have your voice heard on a really regular basis, since we can't really do like a term committee meeting or things like that right now.
Thank you. Arista had a question, and I think this is a good one for you to kind of expand a little bit about how university clubs and organizations tend to be different from what students might have experienced in their high schools, and the benefits that can be gotten from involvement in either multiple student organizations or by focusing in on one. So I'll just ask the question, and you can take it however you'd like to. Arista wants to know, is it possible to join clubs while being a president of another club?
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely. Okay, so thank you. This is a very good question also. I really like these questions. So there is definitely a philosophy that says do as much as you're able to do. So if maybe you're a person who really wants to focus and take a leadership position in one organization that's either just super important to you because the purpose of it is so core to what you believe in, or maybe you're really looking for something that's about your academics that's going to further that, so that you can think about things like grad school. Just, you know, putting it out there. I know you're all very new, but you know, grad school is a great thing. So if you get into one of those, maybe you want to focus. But there are lots of students who maybe have memberships in others, and they help out when they can, and they participate in membership meetings, and then hold officer positions in others. So it's really up to you and the amount of time you have here. But I would caution everybody. I would definitely say, don't feel stuck. If you get into a club and you don't have time to do it, or it's just dragging you down and you really need to focus on academics or, you know, something else in your life, it's okay. It's totally okay to say, I can't do this right now. Mm-hmm. And to work with them to either just, you know, step back and be a member if you know, you were in a officer position, you know, that's all right. But definitely talk with your peers. They're going to be way more understanding if you talk with them about what's going on than if you don't. And they are probably going to help you out a lot and give you that support that you're going to need in whatever's going on in your life. So definitely think about your balance and know that it's okay if you take on a whole bunch and decide later, okay, that was a bit, I probably should pare it down. So that would be my advice.
For sure. It's really important that students always remember why they're here, and that's to earn a degree. And the student clubs and organizations can provide a lot of added benefit to that degree, but classes come first, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Dimitri wants to know, how does one enroll or get specific clubs such as the Music and Concerts Club? What is the current largest student organization on campus?
That is an interesting question. So membership for any of the organizations, you can actually click join now on the engage pages for them, and some of them will actually have a question that you'll need to answer. Some of them will have some membership requirements, so it just depends on the organization. The students are completely in charge of the student organization, so they get to set all those things and we just support them. So for music and concerts, I think the best thing would be to just join their engage page and follow them on Instagram, and then whenever they have opportunities, hop on. Sorry, what was the second part of the question?
The second one was, what is the largest student club
Yes,
on
okay.
campus, student organization on campus?
Yeah, largest student club. That one is really hard to say. So I will say that it's not really a club, but it's something that every student belongs to here on campus, which is the Associated Students of the University of Oregon and Student Government. You all have a lot of power there. It is a place for you to get excellent leadership skills and to have a lot of voice on campus. So I would encourage you all to get involved and to find out what's going on in ASUO.
Okay, so this requires a little bit of maybe judgment, but this is my question, by the way. Tell us, what are some of your favorite sort of non-traditional clubs and organizations?
Yeah. Oh, there's so many good ones. I have so many that I love. When I first started registering new and developing organizations, one of my earliest clubs was the Cubing Club, which is where I found out that Rubik's Cube is a brand name, like Kleenex is a brand name, and that the Cubing Club was developed so that students who liked to compete with cubing and solving cubes. It's so hard for me not to say Rubik's Cube without context. But it's one of the most interesting, and they've been super fun, and they have really helped to build a board gaming community here on campus. So now there's a couple different board gaming clubs, which are really fun, and they all kind of take a different perspective, I would say, which is really fun and just really good to get like some social interaction and to have that de-stress moment.
Yeah, for sure. That stress that can build up for students, it's amazing what just being around other students who are experiencing the same things can do for a person. Okay, Taylor wants to know, is Greek Life open this fall? And if you want to punt that to our fraternity and sorority life session, that's fine, but I know that you have some information.
So right now, to my knowledge, best of my ability right now is yes, there will be some Greek life that happens in fall. It's gonna look very, very different, which is why I encourage you to really pay attention and come to that session for fraternity and sorority life. There's gonna be a whole lot of different processes, and I, on their behalf, will ask that you bear with them also as they try to develop a new way to do all of the meetings and all the interviews that go along with recruitment. But they are really on it, and they are working really hard to get all that stuff together, and I believe that most of it's going to be able to be virtual, so that's going to add an extra layer of safety, since if you aren't aware, those are some pretty large organizations, so the safety piece is going to be a really big part for them.
Thank you. Okay, so Justin wants to know, where can I check what clubs are available for the fall?
All clubs are available. That is it. Yeah, all clubs are available. So if it is official on the Engage page, they are open and want you to join them. The only ones that might have any sort of needed extra membership requirements for you to join would be some of the competitive clubs. So for example, like our a cappella clubs, you have to apply and try out and then get a position, but you can always be a supporter of that organization and still be like a volunteer member, but not be a person who's a part of the core singing, for example. But otherwise, all the clubs are open.
And can you repeat the page where a student would find that?
Yeah, definitely go to Engage. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like I mentioned before, I've known you for a number of years, and I know that you have mentored and shepherded a lot of students through event planning and, toward graduation and leadership opportunities. Can you tell us a little bit about what that means to the students to be involved in something outside of the classroom, and what kind of benefits are added to a student's experience at the U of O as you've watched them throughout your time here at the U of O?
Yeah, it's the reason why I do this work, is to be able to give students the opportunity to grow and learn, to use a lot of the experiences and information that they're getting in class in the real world, and get that resume experience where they can say, yes, I actually did a concert, and I know what a box office is, and I can, figure out how to run and manage a line of an event. Or, for some of our students who work with our galleries, like get real hands-on gallery experience. But we also work with students in other ways to give them opportunities that maybe they also need for their programs. So our galleries actually let and encourage and are focused on students who are in the fine arts program to exhibit, which means they get an exhibit credit on their resume before they leave. And they get the experience of seeing what a contract's like, going through how to install and deinstall, which are all professional jargon words. But this is that kind of development that really helps them to say when they leave, I can do this. I can do this job. I've done it. And they can put it on a resume and show it to a future employer so that they can actually prove that it wasn't just a book learning thing, that they could then take that book learning and implement it. It's been absolutely just fabulous to see how far some of our students have gone. I mean, there are students that are all over the country. We have students who have started their own businesses. Actually, quite a few right now have started their own businesses because they just feel very empowered and they got a lot of experience. So they've kind of figured out how to manage and run the things that they want to do. So it's been just tremendously rewarding for myself and all the professional staff on our team.
Thank you. All right, this is a great last question. It's related to some of the answer that you just gave. I am an artist. How do I get my work in the EMU gallery?
Yeah, yes, definitely. I know, I'm such a broken record. Go on the Engage system or find the visual arts team in Instagram and message them directly or join them and then send a message to the contact through the Engage system. They are putting together this year's gallery exhibition schedule, and there may be some slots that are still open, so definitely get in contact with them. Also, there are kind of not really hidden, but they're like little hidden gems of classes that happen in spring, where part of the class is actually that they all exhibit at the end of the class. So that could be a good way for you to get in if you, if maybe you don't think you have enough exhibition material to do a whole show by yourself. It might be a good foray into getting an exhibit.
Thank you so much. That is all the time that we have for this session. For those of you who are watching, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. If you're a student, again, be sure to log on to community.uoregon.edu to submit your reflection and stay on track to complete introduction. I'm hoping at this point that you have completed the advising prep module and the knowledge check within community.uoregon.edu, and that you're checking with your flock leader about other steps to take care of. Academic advisors have begun to reach out to students, and we want you to get scheduled with your academic advisor as soon as possible so that you can register for your fall classes. And tonight, we hope that you will join us for Proud to be a Duck. It features many of our current students and staff, and we want to make sure that you watch with us tonight on the Oregon YouTube channel. It's called Oregon Welcome. For questions about this program or any other introduction program, I encourage you to visit our website at orientation.uoregon.edu. You can also email us at orientation@uoregon.edu or text us at 541-346-1159. Thank you again for your time today, watching today. And to you, Mandy, thank you for helping our new students get ready for fall.
Thank you.